him what he did right, what he did wrong. Toya, a very interesting personality.
Yeah, a very aggressive personality when you see him like on I don't know how to put this on camera. You know, like his media personality is very aggressive, often joking. He can be that way in real life too. But when it comes down to things that really matter, when it comes to being a coach and when it comes to planning, he's very serious. He puts the jokes aside, and he's also a great friend and a great mentor to so many of these players. He's been around. He was regarded by many to be the best coach in StarCraft 2 for a long time.
Yeah, he's just super passionate. That's what I love about him, actually. He just cares so much about his players and about StarCraft 2, so awesome guy in general.
Well, Valdez, it comes down to this final set on Foxtrot, the very last map that we'll be seeing in this TVT. And both players are ready. Map is loaded. It's time to decide which one of these players is moving on to the round of 16 and which one is going to have to requalify.
Up here in the top left in the red, just lost that last game. The Terran player, it is sKyHigh.
It was a crazy last game we just saw. And to the bottom right in blue, it's GuMiho. It would have been such a different game had those two drops not been sent out, or had they been sent out earlier, everything would have changed.
Before that attack went off, like, GuMiho was checking everywhere for drops. You know, he had those Vikings on the left side. He had a Viking on the right side as well as a Hellion. Even sent out a medevac a little bit, you know, towards the right, you know, the bottom right side of that main base of sKyHigh, but didn't catch the medevacs moving out. I wonder
it's just a funny chance, you know? Like,
yeah,
it's just
it was
so
like perfect timing for GuMiho to just walk in there and say, hey, you've got nothing at home, you know?
It's so funny that he wasn't able to scout because he was trying so hard, too. And that's just kind of how these sort of base trade situations arrive, is when two armies miss each other. And we saw a lot more base trades actually in the early stages of StarCraft 2 because players just weren't as good. They weren't as map aware back in the old days. So sometimes maps would literally just end in base trades where two huge maxed out armies kind of passed each other and it was too late to turn around. And it's a very rare circumstance we see this in today's meta, though, in today's contemporary StarCraft 2 state.
I mean, it happens sometimes in PvZ. You know, a lot of mutas out on the map, and this big Protoss ball moves across the map, and the mutas just go for the base trade. Something Zergs like to do a lot. We actually saw that sometime recently, I believe, last week.
Yeah.
Around that time.
Well, guys, this time, an identical gas timing for these two players. Very late orbital for GuMiho, so maybe I was wrong on that. I think he just got his orbital late. I think because he wanted to get Reaper. He got his Reaper before orbital. Okay, that's why. So that's an interesting way to get your Reaper out a little bit faster. It delays your orbital for just a second, but it's going to have a quick scout, and it's going to go ahead and drop that CC down immediately afterwards as well.
Yeah, very aggressive CC here, whereas over for sKyHigh, he's just going with that factory. Going to try to tech up here a bit. And sKyHigh, this time he does go for the scout. And seeing that CC, he immediately backs away. Knows what kind of build this is.
Yeah, I feel like in this map, it's always cross spawns. And at these spawning locations, there's really neither player has an advantage in this matchup at all. Just looking at kind of how things siege up and you know, where drops go, it's pretty much identical. No advantage one way or the other. But I like GuMiho's choice to expand and try to defend here. It's kind of been stylistically what he's been liking to do in this series. He has changed it up quite a bit. And this has been a series where both players have changed their playstyle almost from game to game. I think this is the kind of playstyle he felt comfortable with. Maybe that's what Choya came in and said to him in the booth. It's like, yo, game 5, just stick with the plan. Just get that CC up first. Try to get him in the macro game.
It's exactly what happened in game number 2. You know, just tried to defend, got earlier CCs than his opponents, and just got ahead economically. And this time we have sKyHigh actually going for a very rushed out Banshee, looks like here. Got both gases, getting that tech lab on that starport. So going to put on the pressure that way.
Yeah. And here comes that Reaper Scout. Pretty tough to get in there on this map. Those are the two Marines in position. So the Banshee with Cloak is something that GuMiho is going to have to respond with turrets. He's already got an eBay finishing up here. His starport is finishing as well. So the timing works out on this map really well for him here. He should be able to have the Viking and the turrets up. And it's going to be sKyHigh who's going to be a bit hard-pressed to actually make that Banshee do something. He's also scouted the Banshee now 100%, so he can, if he wants to be super safe, even make 3 turrets. We've seen some people like to make 3 when they're 100% sure it's going to be Banshees.
So that the production, you know, don't get any of your Marines picked off or anything like that. It's pretty cool to do.
He doesn't even have to do that, though, because he's already got the Viking out. He loves to just rush that Viking out of his starport and have the CC up. Ooh, nice shot there on that Hellion. Actually, he's like, I'm not scared of 2. Let me get that shot off.
So he's got 1 Viking out and another one on the way here.
And he knows that he can just send the Viking to already intercept the Banshee on its flight path before it even arrives. sKyHigh is trying to force this to happen. He's trying to force his way in here with the Hellion. Doesn't get any kills. So 2 Hellions go down for free. GuMiho even repairs his own Hellions. And now sKyHigh's got to be feeling stressed. Doesn't have a CC even started. GuMiho's on 2 bases. And his Banshee's going to run into turrets. And a Viking's going to even force him to cloak before he even gets there.
Yeah, he needs to do a sick amount of damage right now. He's going to get 2, but the scan does go off.
I think he should have
forced away.
Barely.
That he does. But that cloak will eventually run out, and as long as GuMiho does keep tabs on that and follow the little shimmer. Oh, no. Actually, sKyHigh is able to juke him out there.
Well, Valdez, it's again time for this push. Let's see if he's a little bit more careful this time. And how much damage can GuMiho get done to the push before he even arrives? That's just uncombat shielded Marines again. Those vanilla Marines versus Hellions. If GuMiho gets some good lineups,
that's a lot of Hellions.
He can slow this down at the very least. Great control there by sKyHigh, putting that siege tank right in front, making sure those Hellions don't get that shot off. But still, he's being chased down here. He's just using the map to his advantage, though. Moving around where he's got the high ground, keeping his Banshee on the other side. The Hellions don't want to stick around too long against that.
Cloak coming in here. That Banshee will fight with this. He wants to pick off as many of these Hellions as he can before this fight does go off. But the scan is going to go down onto that weakened Banshee.
Oh, can he get it?
Yeah, he should be able to. But again, there's 2 tanks in this push. If he can get a nice position here.
Yeah, GuMiho's got to pull his SCVs, and he does. Comes in here right on top of that first siege tank. Hellions get some great lineups here, and the Vikings will have to land here to finish off the last of the Marines. This is a pretty good trade for sKyHigh, but GuMiho still has that second orbital up, and he can continue to mine from that. Worker counts 30 to 34 in favor of GuMiho, and sKyHigh making some damage happen there.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if it's enough, you know. I mean, he was able to do it, you know, pretty nicely, but he only took out 2 SCVs, and GuMiho, just his army control with the Hellions, running them into the Marines straight away, really used those tank splash damage shots against sKyHigh there. And the Banshee, right off the beginning, wasn't able to get much damage done, so pretty nicely controlled by GuMiho.
My concern for sKyHigh is that he's so Banshee-focused, really, with his comp. That's like the only thing that he's got that GuMiho doesn't have. But GuMiho's getting that, first of all, right now on the way, actually, a bit delayed. But he's also got air control. GuMiho has more Vikings, and it's probably going to stay that way. I don't know how many Banshees he's going to commit to, but he's getting a 3rd CC. This is starting to look a lot like game number 2 in almost every way.
Yeah. Just that the push out of sKyHigh has actually done less damage this time. And GuMiho's CC is even further ahead. That second one, I mean.
Yeah. This is looking pretty tough for sKyHigh. He's not out of this game yet. His positioning is incredible. He's definitely come back from deficits before in this matchup. Let's not count him out here, but definitely got to give the edge to GuMiho right now. He's also sneaking this Banshee around so far undetected. There is another Banshee of sKyHigh moving out, though, that looks like it might run into it. So you might actually, they might scout each other at this moment, and that's what's going to happen here. Ooh, he cloaks it immediately, perhaps hoping that GuMiho didn't notice because he was focusing on that scan.
Yeah. Looks like that's what he went for, but actually with that scan, I think he's a bit scared now, actually pulling his Banshee back.
Just wants to make sure GuMiho's not moving across the map, doing any other sort of drop play. Good control here by GuMiho, forcing these siege tanks to actually reposition, picking off a few Marines, doing a little bit of damage. Hellions coming in, meanwhile, to try to snipe some of these Marines. GuMiho very aggressive here. He knows he only has that one window of time while those siege tanks are on siege. I think that might be a bit overzealous.
Again, just nice control out of sKyHigh, just like stuttering back, re-sieging up right away, and getting the nice shot there on the Hellions. Stim now on the way, and Marauders and Marines in production here.
GuMiho is getting Blue Flame since he's got such a huge Hellion count. He's going for it with his mech. sKyHigh going down that bio path. Again, with the stim this late, It's hard to use that bio for a really long time, and if you let a mech player get that 6 gas economy, he's going to be able to build that 200 much faster. So Sky has to do something now. The problem is he's still missing that stim, so he's going to try to take some engagements. He's going to try to keep fighting and keep this tempo going, and eventually while he's in this position, stim will finish and he'll be able to take a better engagement. But he needs to start moving across the map now, and GuMiho is going for a Hellion move out at the same time to try to reposition some of these units. Oh, doesn't want to go down that ramp.
Yeah, again, he's just trying to do what he tried to do on Catalina. You know, run by, try to do a lot of damage in the natural. He got so many kills in that second game, which was another key to his win. But this time he's not able to do it, and he's going to have to defend here. Is he going to make him into Hellbats? I saw him having an armory before.
Well, his Blue Flame isn't done yet. It would be so much easier to actually defend with this. He's going to have to pull SCVs, but he crushes this army. So far, so good. Losing a lot of Harvesters, meanwhile. 10, 11. And actually, does he have enough? Those siege tanks...
No, they're all alone now. And once he makes those into Hellbats, the siege tanks will be able to kite for a bit here. But again, he's got 3 CCs. It looks like sKyHigh back at home is making his 3rd CC.
Look at the bottom right of the screen, guys. Stim and Combat Shields finishes now, after the fight. It was a bit off there. Had that been just a little bit faster, he would have had so much more DPS, so much more potential for damage there. That window was missed just slightly. And now GuMiho's got the 3 CCs. During this, sKyHigh made his own 3rd orbital, but obviously it's a bit late. You know, the orbital isn't finished. He hasn't even moved it yet. GuMiho has 6 gases. He's adding those armories, like you said. Yeah, he's getting a 2nd army. You're right. He did have that armory earlier, and yeah, he made Hellbats as well. So this is not rocket science, Wolf, but now can get double upgrades at the same time. His +1 is finishing. Further proof that he had an armory. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm like, there's a Thor on the way.
But yeah, I mean, this is what we were talking about before. He's getting that 3rd base. It's been up for a while now, actually. He's having those 6 gases, and he's just going to be able to pump out the mech units, get all the upgrades he wants, and it's going to be a rough spot here for sKyHigh. He's going to have to get some really nice drops down, maybe get some more harass with his Banshees. He cannot lose these tanks freely to just one Banshee coming through the middle.
Any piece that GuMiho could pick off is so huge because he's
God.
already so ahead. Oh, forces a stim and a scan and escapes a 2nd scan to kill that. He can't afford scans when he's already been missing so much mule time. Upgrade-wise, he's at +1 with his bio, getting his armor, whereas GuMiho already has +1 for his mech and is getting +2 and the armor for his mech. He's making 4 Hellions and 2 siege tanks at a time, and he already has the army advantage. This advantage cannot be overstated.
GuMiho's really running away with this game right now. He's even adding medevacs into this comp. He feels like already okay with his air control, so he's like adding medevacs so that he can pick up the Hellbats, heal them as well, and just you know, kind of maneuver his army.
With the Hellbats and the medevacs, there's so much you can do with this. You can harass. You can hide your Hellbat numbers. You can drop on top of siege tanks, which is what the main purpose. That's what they're really going to be for, is to just drop on top of siege tanks, bio, marauders, whatever you can drop on top of, do that extra AoE damage while the rest of his mech army comes in. The Hellbats tank. There's just infinity utility with these medevacs when you're this far ahead. It's adding Thors just to make sure that he can fight because he knows that his opponent has the better air control because he's been spending his money and his starport production time on medevacs instead of Vikings. So the Thors are going to help out with that to make sure he doesn't have any sort of Banshee issue. And this is sKyHigh's really big chance with this army he's got moved out across the map. It's too small, though. And guess what? GuMiho, with his advantage, makes a center tower, and he's already seen it.
Yeah. Even bringing some SCVs with this comp, he's saying, okay, I can go for a super strong push here. And what does sKyHigh have back at home? How many tanks? Looks like 4. He's got a decent, bio ball, but there are so many tanks in this mix, so many Hellbats as well.
There are 25 Hellbats on the map. Excuse me, 28. 3
That's
just finished.
Unbelievable.
And he's going to have 2-1 versus just 1-1. And that's with mech. Here we go. sKyHigh, a master of positioning. Let's see if that saves him. By the way, one other thing to mention is GuMiho has a 4th CC done and ready. Here we go. There's the boost, and here come those medevacs right on top of that army. The Vikings on move command, not firing at all, and he gets on top of the sKyHigh's army, and that might just be all she wrote. I mean, he's going to try to run past and try to force GuMiho to turn around, but GuMiho just has such a huge advantage now. He took out so much of that bio, and the remaining bio is so low on health. It's all in the red. I wish you guys could see that. It's all in the red. It's all in the yellow. Plus 3's on the way and 3 Thors in production just because he knows, okay, you still have this. We have this air problem. But all of this bio that's already stimmed so many times can't even stim again if he wanted to. And that's going to be it. Even some Hellions here in chasing mode to finish this off, do that extra lineup damage.
And all these Hellbats in the back as well. This gets totally cleaned up.
4 base to 3. He's up 60 supply.
He's got plus 3 on the way. He's really running away with this one, man. And he's going to pick up once again, just boost towards the base to sKyHigh. I feel like sKyHigh is just trying to use what he has, that, you know, mobility with this bio army. And he's able to pick off some SCVs, but those aren't the pickoffs that he wants at this point.
It's too little too late. He's trying to target a Thor. You know how much DPS that takes? You know, he's got to spend so much time. Good control, though. Kills the Thor and escapes. GuMiho up 40 supply now. Is this a planetary? I'm actually going to check that for you guys. It's about to be. So he can't even kill that planetary with his Bioforce. This could be the last engagement of the game. The air control still in sKyHigh's favor, but with Thor's at the back trashing that air army, it's not going to last for very long.
Yeah, you could see he was trying to transition into Banshees with that air control that he had, but that wasn't enough there. GG, GuMiho. 3-2.
Upsets back-to-back, man. This guy is doing well overseas, and now having that support of MVP could be another fierce player for Pro League as well.
Oh, yeah, man.
And he beats sKyHigh in a narrow series in TVT.
sKyHigh, man, I don't know. He was playing decently, but GuMiho was just reading his, you know, his...
reading his builds, man. Adapting every game.
I just got distracted by a little friend messaging me.
Shout out to Moonglade, by the way. Wish he were here with us. He'll be joining us, of course, for the rest of the season, though. Now, this I actually just really liked how both players adapted in the series. That was, in my opinion, actually the best of 5 we've had so far this tournament. Went to the 5th game,
TVT,
tons of adaptations, TVTs. I always love TVTs, but that was great. And GuMiho just playing the better game, realizing that sKyHigh likes to be aggressive, realizing that this map was long enough the rush distance for him to actually just sit back and defend, get that faster third base. Very reminiscent of Game 2, and it worked out really well for him. So GuMiho will advance to the group stage. sKyHigh will have to try again next time. We're going to be hearing from GuMiho himself in this interview.
고병재 선수가 승리를 거뒀습니다. 축하드립니다, 고병재 선수.
네, 감사합니다.
오늘 경기 전부터
Congratulations on your victory. He says thank you.
네, 제가 태태전 안 만나길 바랐는데 하필 태태전 제일 잘한다고 생각하는 병수야.
He had a headache before the match, actually, because he didn't want to play against a Terran.
네, 중반까지는 제가 너무 밀리는 것 같아가지고.
And he's very happy. He's actually more happy because he was able to defeat that Terran that he was having a headache about. After losing the set, maybe the first set, he said, you know, he was feeling like he wouldn't be able to take that victory, but he was able to push through and actually win it.
Gotta be relieving, man. It was a stressful best of 5.
근데 사실 긴장 되게 많이 됐는데.
It's actually really nervous, he says.
저도 모르겠는데 잘 되더라고요. 저도 잘 모르겠어요.
세트를 진행하면서 좀 익숙해지신 점이 있나요?
같은 빌드만 써서.
He's basically just saying he doesn't know, you know, why it went so well for him, but things went his way in the end, and he was so nervous. And stresses that actually.
그래서 마지막까지도 긴장은 놓치지 않았고, 근데 상황은 점점 좋아졌던 것 같아요.
He was really stressed out about the attacks that he was getting from sKyHigh. And at the very end, though, those strong attacks weren't enough to finish him off. He was able to pull it off in the end.
요새는 그냥 좀 되게 좀 많이 침착해진 것 같아요. 쉽게 포기 안 하게 되고 그러다 보니까.
He actually feels like these days he's actually more patient in the booth than before. And he actually really enjoys playing against Zerg players these days. So it's Christmas Eve, and a lot of fans came to the studio today. Do you have any words for them? I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, he says. So that's going to do it for our first best of 5.
Great way to start off the day, man. That was so good. So back and forth.
That was an amazing series, and I'm hoping the next one is going to be just as good. It's going to be stats versus innovation, Innovation playing very well yesterday. We'll see if we can continue that trend. But before we go into this match, guys, we're going to have a 7-minute break, and we'll see you right after.